You smile, delighted, overjoyed, invigorated by his frustration. Then he lunges forward, and now you are the one pinned. Commitment, commitment. Your turn. Vandra immediately shoves his hand into your mouth. You're so shocked by this, you don't even think to try to keep your mouth closed. His hand doesn't really fit right. You're so baffled, you're not even sure what you're tasting. And you can feel his fingers trying to go deeper. Hey all you cool creatures. I'm Cryptid. Welcome to the Cryptid Plays YouTube channel. And today we are going to play, I'm probably gonna say this wrong, but Twinadew Window Inertia. The developer reached out to me a number of months back actually, but they were cool with me waiting until this game had some sound stuff put in, music and all that. So this game is intended for a mature audience and includes some violence, mentions of sex and kink, unhealthy dynamics, and lots of stressful / delusional thinking. It was originally made for Yaoi Jam of 2025. And what it's about is that two guys are stuck in an elevator together, and somehow the elevator hasn't stopped moving downward. By this point, they've been there for at least a day. There are only 6 endings, which is actually quite a lot, so let's see how this goes. You wake up to the hum and rumble of the elevator. Nothing seems to have changed since yesterday. What now? Oh. Think about who you are? It helps to remind yourself of the basics when something incomprehensible occurs. So, you do. You are Algernon, I might say this wrong, Tristic. Hopefully that's close. You are 24. You are between jobs. You are currently stuck in an elevator with Vandra. Look at the buttons. The button to the ground floor is lit up. For some reason, none of the other buttons react when you press them. Look at the doors. Sleek metal doors rattle suddenly as the elevator drones on. Trying to open the doors does nothing. Look at the floor. In the corner is a yellow sweater and a tote bag. On top of this little pile rests Vandra, still asleep, using it as a pillow. Oh, Vandra. Think about when you met. It was some time in high school when you both met. He reeked of insecurity, asking for your help on some essay you weren't even planning to do. An absolute wet wipe of a man, Vandra has always been helpless and slow, finding it hard to make friends and even harder to avoid being bullied. Well, we're not very nice about that, are we? You did your part, playing pranks on him and giving bad advice. but he never seemed to resent you for it. His distinct lack of skill at everything except being a punching bag endears him to you. Are we a sadist or what? Of course, you do your best to not actually hurt him, but you admit to yourself the urge is there. Think about what you want to do to him. It'd be nice to kick him awake. He'd probably yell in fright, look around, then stare up at you, confusion and worry stark in his eyes. You could then kick him again, maybe a little harder this time, and he might do something silly, like run to the other end of the elevator. As if that was any sort of meaningful distance or difference between you. Of course, you don't do this. You refuse any urge that you do not understand. It feels good to demonstrate power over primal instinct. I've never heard of this instinct. But this, admittedly, does not even feel like instinct. Whatever it is, it shall not control you. Oh, Vandra, wake Vandra up. You sigh as you lean downward, placing an arm on Vandra's back to shake him awake. He's so warm. You hold your hand there for a moment longer before gripping his shoulder and tugging him back and forth lightly. Vandra. Vandra. He stirs slowly, groaning as he stretches. Oh, he's so cute. Algernon. Good morning. At hearing that, Vandra sits up. Is it morning? I've decided it is now. I'm sure no one will correct me. Vandra seems uncomfortable. We're really still here? Seems to be the case. But Vandra's eyes dart around as he looks up at the corners of the room before standing up. But what? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Vandra runs his hands on the walls, eyes widening as his fingers dig under every nook and depression, wriggling like worms. You watch, delighted. Your heart feels so full that it could burst. He eventually takes a few steps back, leaning against the wall and slumping down to the floor. Someone's bound to look for us, right? Well... someone's bound to look for us, right? Sure, let's be hopeful, I guess. Yes. I'm sure that sooner or later someone will have to come around for us. Or at least respond to our messages. Saying this feels moronic and even slightly cruel, but it appears to lift Vandra's spirits. He does seem the type to value comfort over reality. Vandra composes himself some, rather than fold further into a death spiral slouch. He sits cross-legged, as if societal niceties are meaningful to upkeep. He looks toward you with hope that seems only slightly performative. Have they responded at all? You take your phone out of your pocket and turn it on. You'd messaged Almond and Nandi, but there are no replies. Despite there seeming to be signal here, no one else has messaged you. No group chats have updated. You don't even have new spam emails. For a moment, you consider messaging Orville, but decide against it, turning off your phone again for now. Nothing yet. Despite saying this with a smile, Vandra frowns in return. Well, I hope they reply soon. That'd be nice. The conversation ends here. Vandra is not a great conversationalist, and you've nothing to say that wouldn't crumple his mood. You wonder how to pass the time. Your mind wanders. I miss God. It was a picnic. You, Almond, Nandi, and the oars were there. Vandra was running late. Lely repeated himself more firmly, as if expecting others to do something. I miss God. He was nice to me. If you ask, he gives you socks. You smiled. So did Almond and Nandi. Kids say such funny things. But when you tried asking what Lely meant by that, Orville interrupted, shifting the mood of the get-together as he took his brother's small hand, and stated, pleasantly, that they had to leave. After that, Orville stopped asking any of you to babysit Orwell. Your interest was piqued, as was Almond's. So it was that she eventually messaged you. Something fishy is going on, and Orville doesn't want us to know. You recall wondering what Almond believed was happening. You specifically avoided sharing your theory because, well, it didn't make any sense. Not really. It looks like he's keeping Orwell away from everyone who was at the picnic. We'll have to ask Vandra for help. Vandra? This was doomed from the start. You just couldn't have known how doomed. Your meandering mind is interrupted by Vandra speaking. Do you think I have a shot with Nandi? Huh? We've been friends, and I mean, she's nice to me. Maybe I'm just reading too far into it, though. You pause. Where is this even coming from? Does Vandra have a chance with Nandi? Think about Nandi. You take a moment to consider Nandi. Despite her somewhat intimidating exterior, she tends to enjoy nurturing others. So, of course, she's nice to Vandra. He might as well be a baby bird with a broken wing she's nursing back to health. Whether or not he'll ever be able to fly is likely not a concern to her or him. And what of yourself? She is your friend, too, and one you value. Nandi has a knack for talking to you and seemingly respects you and your eccentricities to a surprising degree. You hold her in high enough regard to trust her judgment, and have even sought her out for advice in the past. Vandra is a mess, and what you say to him may affect how he treats Nandi. You figure you should try to consider what you say a little bit more. Yes, maybe. Possibly. But why do you ask? Vandra looks down and fiddles with his thumbs. Oh, I think it would be nice if someone liked me like that. You pause for a moment, rolling Vandra's response around in your mind. Well, I think she cares a lot about you. She'd likely be open to becoming closer on some level. Maybe not whatever level you are looking for, mind you, but it may be worth an attempt. Vandra laughs and runs a hand through his hair before turning to look at you. Guess I'll try when we get out. You smile. Your insides, however, are twisting. Are you interested in anyone? The answer to that is complicated. Oh. Vandra smiles a little coyly and pokes you. Are you shy? You laugh, a harmless, limp laugh, not at all strong or accusatory. It's not the type of laugh you wished to give. No, it's not that. I won't tell. Oh, well, that's kind of you. But secrecy isn't really the problem either. Vandra tilts his head. Don't you trust me? You sigh. Have you ever felt like some of your emotions and thoughts are superimposed? Huh? What do you mean? If you don't even understand this, how could you understand my full response? What? I can understand? Vandra looks flustered some, looking down and fidgeting with his hands as he tries to think. It's funny to you how focused he is on this. You don't kid yourself into believing this interest of his relates to you, though. Not for a second. You're both trapped in a strange, ever-moving elevator, after all. Keeping himself occupied with this means that he doesn't have to think about that. The topic shifts around little by little as you reroute whatever Vandra says, like using a laser pointer to play with a cat. Eventually, you both nap. Days have passed and passed and passed. Or at least it feels like it's been days. Hard to tell with lack of outside indicators. Or inside indicators too. Neither of you have felt hungry, thirsty, or any other typical bodily need. Or at least you don't feel these things. And when you asked Algernon, he said he hasn't felt them either. Oh, are we doing Vandra's POV now? You can still sleep, thank God. But mainly out of boredom and emotional exhaustion more than anything. I'm gonna move my VTuber down just a wee bitty bit. There we go. You kind of dread when you're awake. Any day in a tiny room you don't understand is bound to come with discomfort though, so you try not to freak out about it. Positive thinking and all that. Well, whatever gets you through it, I guess. You really wonder how Algernon stays so calm. You figure you're just different, bound for worrying, bound for anxiety, the tense chest, butterflies, all that. He's really cool, and his brain probably just works better than yours. You are a natural worrier, and he isn't, and every day you're doing your best not to freak out. This is the kind of thing you struggle to accept some days, because it seems unfair, but you still try. Actually, this place is weird enough that you're unsure when you should worry. That's kind of funny, actually. Ha ha ha. Your main focus has been on Algernon's question. Have you ever felt superimposed feelings before? It's kind of a weird ask. You're not entirely sure what he means by superimposed, but you feel bad to ask him to clarify, so you don't. Knowing you're stupid doesn't make it any easier to show someone you're stupid. You really want to impress him. You want to impress everyone. You've taken out your notebook and have been trying to write things. Thought things. Like trying to think in writing. Definitely not doodling and stressing the hell out thanks to boredom. But God, are you bored, actually? Trying to solve this question gives you something to focus on at least, but holy fucking shit, would you give anything to feel your phone vibrate? To get a message from someone, anyone, anything from outside of this fucking elevator? Maybe you're actually not very good at focusing. Actually, you stare at your doodles and you're back in high school. Not even college because you never went there. You're remembering staring at worksheets and not knowing what to do at all. All your effort didn't really add up to anything. Anything you did study just didn't seem to pop into your head when it was time to write on the test. There's probably something wrong with you, maybe, but you're still trying. So not everything can be wrong with you. Like, you still have friends, right? And successful people have friends. So you're not completely useless. Even though you're not hungry, some nuggets and fries would be nice right about now. A milkshake. Anything but this stupid blank sheet of paper and blank, empty head. Sometimes you just stare at Algernon while he sleeps. What is he dreaming about? You've never been good at sleeping or dreaming. Dreaming always seemed really cool. But you didn't remember yours, and you certainly haven't lucid dreamt. La la la. Algernon has pretty hair. It's all wavy and sticks out places and it's white, which is cool. Does he dye it? You've never seen him with hair of a different color, so if he does, he's consistent. Days pass over you both like roiling waves. And despite everything, you do sometimes get work done. It doesn't always feel like you're awake, but your pages get filled. You sit and write and get absorbed into analyzing your thoughts. You have so many thoughts for having an empty head, and you consider maybe your head isn't that empty. In fact, maybe your head is kind of noisy. Mood. Memories get unearthed, some of which maybe should have stayed collecting dust in the back of your mind. You're never sure if you should write about those things. To write about them is to remember them, and you don't want to remember them, but they're also still part of you, right? Right? Some of your memories don't really make sense. They just don't add up, time-wise, or contradict other memories, or contradict something you've been told before. What do you do with those two? Too many weird little threads and ideas scattered about, and you start to feel like your head is a city full of litter and locked doors. If that's the case, are you just a janitor? Underpaid and overworked as tourists blow by and through you, ignorant of trash left behind. What sort of trash have you left in others? You start to wonder if any of your feelings are not superimposed. What is a non-imposed feeling? Aren't they from external stimulus? Is any emotion you've ever had your own? Oh my gosh, Vandra, are you okay? It's a strange thing starting to see all your actions as separate from your actual will. Agreeing because you worry disagreement will disappoint others. Staying away from certain people because you were told to, and you hadn't thought it through after. Parroting ideas because people seemed to enjoy when you let them hear themselves over you. You think you like people. Is this how to get them to like you? You think about Algernon. Surely he lied when he said someone's looking for you both. It's nice when someone lies to make you happy. They care about what you wish was true, instead of what is actually true. Answering my own previous question, no, I don't think that Vandra is okay at all. Part of you feels anxious to write that down, because you're supposed to not like lies or tell lies. But it just feels nice to think about Algernon lying for you. Is this what romance is? You wonder if he's interested in you. You feel stupid for asking if you had a chance with Nandi. That feels so far away now. It had been an impulsive thought to ask that. You expected Algernon to laugh at you, to belittle you in some way, to generally say or do something that helped you think about anything outside of this box. You didn't expect a genuine response, or maybe you didn't expect your question to interfere in a potential connection you just hadn't seen before. He takes you seriously in ways you don't understand. Sometimes. Though, if you're being honest with yourself, you'd have a crush on anyone who gave you enough attention. Is that a real feeling, or an imposed one, though? You think it would be nice to understand things. You did decide to write down memories of yours. They are scratchy and thin, like fraying wire, and they strain you to focus upon, like viewing damaged film without a projector. But it is here where you have existed, isn't it? They are recordings of your choices, your feelings, your experiences. Yet now, with boundless time to ruminate, there is so little that feels meaningful. Do you have dreams? Goals? Desires? Surely they must exist, but somehow you draw blanks trying to capture them. Have you ever really wanted a job, a car, a relationship? What does it mean to want? You wonder again if Algernon is interested in anyone. If interest in you is a possibility. Wouldn't that be exciting? A welcome change from boredom. But isn't that using a partner as entertainment? What would he want from a partner? Sex? People usually want that. That's been your experience, at least. The butterflies in your chest compress into ice shards at the thought. Would he mind that you're trans? You're not particularly a bastion of masculinity, and you never managed to unlearn feminine speech patterns. So, it's not like he's expecting a manly hunk. Maybe it's fine? But he'd still probably expect a dick, right? I relate to this so hard. God. Maybe you don't pass at all, though. Does he even want sex? Maybe he doesn't. Do you? Bleh. Bleh. You wedge in some distance, redirecting your thoughts back to superimposed feelings. Sex is probably a big place for those, right? You think about your first time and flinch. You've gotten so good at pretending. It suddenly strikes you that maybe the reason you're awful at everything is because all your effort has gone into pretending. Pretending to be pleasant, pretending you know what you're doing, pretending to be an adult. Have you ever done something because you wanted to? Maybe that's the question you should focus on. Well, you can at least think of one thing. You like talking to Algernon while he's asleep. You dare not wake him, of course. That would be rude. But there are times when you speak to him while he is asleep. A bit strange, but harmless, since he won't remember, right? You admit to yourself, though, that your heart soars at the thought that maybe some part of him is listening and interested. It makes you feel special, and you like to feel that way. You wonder when he will wake up. These are the typical days you have until you dream a dream you now only vaguely recall. In it you yawn. You stretch. Still in the elevator with Vandra, it seems. Okay, now we're back to Algernon. And then you're gripped tightly and shaken. Algernon! Hello? Despite clearly registering your response, Vandra continues to shake you. There's a frenzied energy to him. Algernon? Yes, that's my name. Algernon! Vandra! At that, Vandra finally stops shaking you, looking into your eyes with his own, wide with fervor. He then pulls you into a hug, sounding delighted. Oh, you did it. You did it without me asking. Said your name? Yes. You continue to allow his crushing embrace. You're surprised, actually, by the strength of it. You feel more awake than you have in some time. Not sure you are at this point. And so... Vandra pulls himself back, tilting his head in bewilderment. So why did you want me to say your name? Oh, I wanted... Vandra scratches his chin in thought. Oh yeah, I've been thinking over superimposed feelings, and yes, actually I've realized most of my feelings are superimposed. Forced, even. Huh. How do you define self if self is, by its nature, an amalgamation of uncountable shared experiences, external influences, and mediated compromises, transformed into a slurry of input-output? What is the self if not an hourglass in a desert, arbitrary by design? And assuming if self exists at all, if self is dependent on the existence of will, and it is possible to experience a bodily urge one disagrees with, doesn't that imply our body is only ours solely because it is bound to us? Or rather, us bound to it? Doesn't this imply a self of body separate from our own, only us due to its immediacy? Its role to be fertile soil for the plant of consciousness? Vandra, I think you're going down a very not so good path. I understand this way of thinking, but I do think it's a sign of something wrong. If matter forms consciousness, if our bodies hold their own awareness separate from ours, how do I recognize what thoughts are actually mine versus which are spontaneous impulses, chemicals summoned from my body's own understanding? Is there a meaningful difference between the one currently speaking and the millions of years of evolution influencing my body's whims? Vandra continues speaking, but he's staring at you expectantly the entire time. What the hell is going on here? Vandra. Yes? All this is to answer my question? Yes. So you still want to know if I am interested in someone? Yes. You could draw this out. Whatever is going on in Vandra's head, it seems easy to get him to mentally spin in circles. A question like, what does it mean to be interested in anyone given that everyone is a mishmash of this and that, would probably keep Vandra busy till the planet freezes over. But that's boring. Yes, there is someone I am interested in. Oh, what's so complicated about that? I am not certain if this interest is truly mine or someone else's. What? If Vandra could run a lap in this tiny room, he would have. He certainly seems to try, but falls over. He places his hands on your shoulders before he even rights himself from his fall, shaking you, unable to formulate whatever he wants to say, and instead just blabbers, wait, but, and other splintered off words. Your heart feels full again, seeing him half sprawled on the floor, a weirdly endearing disaster with enough passion for you both. Look at him. What the fuck is he yapping about? Why? Algernon is really not a very good person, is he? Holy shit. Despite everything, you've both managed to avoid violence throughout this ordeal, which is truly a monumental achievement. You even both verbally agreed to avoid violence. After that, it's just a matter of will, maintaining that agreement for however long you two would be stuck here. You figured it was a matter of time for Vandra, and you were right. He's just too restless. It doesn't hurt, was the first thing he said when you started. You believed him, but still you weren't sure what to say. Responding to him often led to long diatribes, and you weren't in the mood for that right now. So you didn't say anything. You just placed your hand upon him, then another, held him, put him back together piece by piece. There's something meditative about it. You touch all his shards. He can't stop you, though you doubt he would want to. It's kind of stupid to tear yourself apart because you're bored, but it is very much like him, like Vandra. You put him back together the way you remember him. He smiles apologetically. This is a pattern now. You repair him every time he falls apart. You don't remember having found thread, but you must have at some point, since you use it to keep him together. I'm starting to assume that this might be literal instead of figurative. It's fun to recreate him, like a puzzle. You hang him up on display sometimes, your little art project. Unfortunately, everyone's a critic. What is this? That's a familiar voice tickling the edges of your mind. You see a figure in black standing in front of Vandra, looking confused, disapproving, and, most importantly, barely put together himself. You can see his seams. It's hard not to when he's got so many of them. He actually reminds you of Vandra a bit. And yourself, actually. You hesitate. Who is this? Some distant part of your mind lights up. Oh. He's not supposed to be here. You saw him leave, walk to his car and drive off. He hadn't returned. You would have seen it if he did. Yet here you are in your car staring at a text that Vandra sent you, saying that Orville basically told him to leave. Something is definitely wrong. You can't place your finger on what, but you head out to enter the building to meet up with Vandra. Nope, what? So what was that? I guess I'm gonna go through all this again. Was that an ending? Someone's bound to look for us, right? No. This elevator has been descending for hours straight. I'm not sure what someone would find should they look for us. Some kind of chasm to hell? Vandra's gaze casts down, and he lets himself fully slide onto the floor, laying on the clothing pile once more. He stays quiet. You do feel a little bad for saying all of that, but it's true. The problem's not that you two are stuck in an elevator. It's that you've both been stuck in a moving elevator for about a day. How does that work? It shouldn't. Something weird is clearly happening, and Vandra is trying desperately not to confront that. You do like it when he struggles to handle things, though. Do you think time is passing? If things are different in here, maybe time isn't passing. It's possible. When we get out, I hope Tiger Star Selves is still in theaters. Tiger Star Selves. Vandra turns to look at you more clearly. It's a new movie coming out Thursday. It's 2D animated and not made by the typical big companies. I really wanted to see it. It looked good. What is it about? Well, I tried to keep myself spoiler free. Well then, what did you want it to be about? Vandra looks surprised by the question. Oh, well, I don't know. Oh, okay, so he actually did say it as IDK. Did you just say IDK out loud? Yeah, sorry. Don't be. It's cute. Huh? Think a bit harder. What would Tiger Star selves be if you wrote it? Ah, I'm pretty bad at writing. Out with it. Well, maybe it'd be about some friends who find out they're special. Special how? Well, maybe they're from another planet, the Tiger Star. While on Earth, their powers and stuff are dormant, but something happens, so they awaken? Huh. Yeah. What are the other characters like? Well, one's a cool girl. Maybe she's from Tiger Star and found these other ones on Earth. So, like, she's why they know they have powers and stuff. So, by cool, you mean she's busty and with an attitude, right? She doesn't have to be busty. She's just, confident and IDK, you know? Cool. Alright, so she rides on an alien motorbike, is really strong, and takes no shit. Cool things. What now? How did she find the main cast? Maybe she's actually the sister of one of the normal cast. So she used some kind of machine that determined there was a close match on another planet. If they're twins, they can get up to hijinks where they trade places to trick someone. Yes! I love stuff like that. You both continue fleshing out more of the story. Surely creating the best movie to ever hit imaginary theaters. After discussing the live-action prequel series, because there would be one following the movie's success, starring Catharsa, Miss Cool Alien Motorcycle, Vandra yawns and readies himself to sleep. Vandra seems to be in a brighter mood than earlier. You lean against the wall, smiling to yourself. How annoying to enjoy comforting and tormenting him. It's unlikely that you could do both. But who knows? Eventually, you close your eyes. Days have passed and passed and passed. At least, this is what you assume. It's difficult to tell the exact amount of time trickling by when you can't see the sky and your phone isn't working right. Even your bodies don't seem to be working right. You haven't felt hungry, thirsty, or any other typical bodily need. Vandra seems to be experiencing this lack as well. Which is good, sort of. You figure that dying of thirst in an elevator is unpleasant, to say the least. Luckily, you both can sleep as well. More out of boredom than need, but any time away from the sterile walls of the elevator helps. Unfortunately, despite telling him it's unlikely and despite his best efforts to hide it, it's clear Vandra is still fixated on if anyone will come to find the both of you. You've both had conversations about this, and he logically grasps that this whole thing is impossible, that neither of your phones have signal, that whatever could find you both in this unreal elevator might even be dangerous. But he's restless. He wants something to change. He wants to get out. It's obvious to you that he's the type of person who spent every day waiting for their life to start. Now he's terrified it's over before it ever began. Maybe you're the freak for not stressing so much. What's the point of stressing right now? You don't admit that part of the reason you're actively trying to avoid panic is spite. You get the feeling that panicking would validate someone's opinion of you. How could you even begin to explain this crazy thought to Vandra? Anyway, you've been trying to comfort him in a way that seems to work, making stories. Vandra shifts his focus to these stories, able to imagine change and growth outside of the stagnancy of this mechanical room, ever downward in its motion. Usually it's enough to keep him from spiraling. He joked once, though, that maybe you would both be saved by Catharsa. You smiled, understanding he wasn't really joking. He's really so tired of the elevator. Not that you can blame him. It's the result of living his life for other people's praise. Now it's just the two of you. Of course he's going to struggle. Honestly, you're proud of the both of you for avoiding cannibalism or whatever so far. You're sure if Almond were here instead of you, she would have beaten Vandra to a fine pulp by now. Oh, on your end, you've been avoiding overthinking as best as you can lately. Spinning yarns with Vandra works out in your favor too. In that regard, you write the villains. You write them as friendly, underhanded, and generally difficult to read at first glance. Is it because someone has experience in that? There's something delightful in keeping Vandra surprised and in being an asshole in a safer way. Vandra had brought a notebook in his bag, so sometimes he would try to draw your characters. You haven't tried your hand at it yet, but maybe sometime you will. Once, Vandra leaned against you to sleep. He just kind of did it, like a cat deciding to walk on someone. He didn't remark at all about how uncomfortable it must have been to lean on your shoulder. You told yourself your sweater probably helped, or that he's just polite and dislikes conflict. Once he had leaned on you, he had to commit to it. You avoided considering the idea that maybe he hadn't felt uncomfortable. You've been avoiding overthinking lately, after all. One day, he surprises you with a question. If there was a story just for you, what would it be about? What would you want from it? You're not sure why you didn't expect this. It makes sense for Vandra to eventually turn his interest towards your own proclivities. It would be about two guys who do something stupid and get themselves stuck in an endless elevator talking about stories forever because it's all they have left to do. You smile at his discomfort. You wouldn't put it past him to think you're being serious. Maybe he's a little crazy too, and thinks you're behind all this now. Wouldn't that be funny? Do you think they could fall in love? Huh? The two in your story, could they fall in love? Yes. Sure. Why not? They're stuck in an elevator after all. They may get to know one another more intimately, vulnerably, and as such, they may grow to care for one another. Or even find such care was already present from the start. That's nice. You smile. There's a silence that follows, held between the two of you, not for lack of words, but rather to avoid sullying something fragile. Thoughts dance about in your mind, varying shapes and sizes and cadences, ranging from how soft Vandra would be if you held him, to how a crass and cutting remark timed just right could crumple Vandra into whatever shape you'd like. And there it is again. Those opposing views of comfort and cruelty. Even now, you seem to be unable to shake them. What would you gain from crumpling Vandra like tissue? This urge exhausts you. Can you really find no other way to sate your unhappiness? And on the other hand, what do you gain from closeness with Vandra? This is overthinking, though, isn't it? You instead think back to Vandra's earlier question about a story you would like. To answer your previous question seriously, Vandra looks to you. I would want a story that manages to surprise me. Surprise you? Yes, it. You pause. Your chest tightens slightly. It's uncomfortable. This is embarrassing. Oh, try not to laugh. The smile Vandra gives in return, a half-cocked slant of a smirk, makes you think of a confused dog. I'd like a story that's just about being happy, one that I can feel. Vandra looks at you with surprise. Why would I laugh at that? You normally don't talk about this. You don't feel the need to. It's pointless to, usually. Just do what's fun and the rest falls to the side. Timer reset. But you suppose you'll try. Try to talk to Vandra. There are so many films I've watched about soul searching or happiness or what have you that feel fake. From corporate drivel to the more esoteric indie works, none really reach me. I just don't grasp it. And talking about wanting one that lands for me just feels shallow by association, laughable. Artists across generations have made so many stories, and none of them are good enough for me. Who do I think I am? That sounds lonely. It is. It just seems nice. Feeling things. Being happy and finding meaning. Well, I don't think it's shallow to want to feel. But also, I think you do feel things. Like, well, I mean, when we met, you used to prank me a bit. You'd smile some at that. I did. Why? It made me feel alive. Vandra smiles a little, though you're not entirely convinced it's not a wince. See? You do feel. It's just probably, I don't know, buried under some stuff. So you don't mind me bullying you, so long as it makes me happy. Nah, that was small stuff anyway. Vandra. Yeah? If you keep lying, you won't be in my story at all. Huh? swallowing pain like that. It's so common. Acting like if you treat me soft with kid gloves, that things will work out. Acting like your worth is equivalent to how much you forgive, regardless of the harm. It's plastic. There's something fucked about me and I don't know what it is yet. I'm sure there's something fucked with you, too. We don't have to follow paths that are well tread. No one does. There's a silence between the two of you now. You understand Vandra was trying to be kind, but did it hurt when I'd trick you and laugh? Yeah, but Vandra looks to the side. It also felt normal somehow. Correct. As weird as that sounds. Can you elaborate? Well, even meeting with you the first time, it made sense to me that you specifically would poke and prod and pester me. I don't know why. Did it feel like this is how things are supposed to be? Yeah. Maybe against all odds, you're both actually the same kind of insane. Wouldn't that be nice? You wonder if that makes bonding with Vandra better or worse. Vandra, I'm so bored of feeling like I'm fighting a script shoved in my face. Huh? Since we've met, I've been inundated with the impulse to mistreat you. In small ways, mostly, but also sometimes in larger ways. Oh. This has really bothered me. It has felt out of place. I'm no stranger to reckless impulses, but this is different. It feels like this is how things are supposed to be. Oh, you too? You nod. I very much dislike anyone telling me how things should be. I know. Almond can barely stand you. You smile. Yes. This urge is no different, except that it's coming from inside me, somehow. Yeah? Yeah. These are a lot of words to say that I have refrained from getting too close to you because there's a voice in my head egging me on to hurt you. This is a weird conversation. It is. Well, it kind of sucks a lot when you hurt me. I can imagine. No, actually, I don't think you can. Fair enough. I've really tried, being nice to you, and you just, yeah. Like the time you jumped out from behind the fence. Or the time you switched out essays. That one is a classic. You don't feel bad at all? You look at Vandra. No. I don't know why I can't be mad when you're like this. Even now, it hurts, but I just can't be mad. It's weird, right? Yeah, it's like all of that was in a TV. Like seeing something recorded on VHS. Grainy, barely real. I think I understand what you mean. Sort of. You want a story that lets you feel happy. A happy little life. I want to want that, if that makes any sense. I want to experience being satisfied. Wanting to want, huh? Days pass and somehow Algernon and Vandra get out of the elevator. What a strange experience they simply never talk about again. Almond and Nandy are delighted to see them once more. The friend group ceases to acknowledge the existence of the Orr brothers. Vandra gets on anti-anxiety meds that manage to fix his brain. He gets a job and he's really a social butterfly now, with a personality and experiences and funny jokes. Algernon confides in Vandra and Nandy more, making the difficult choice to open up and try to connect more to humanity as a whole. He comes across a motherless kitten and begins to take care of himself more in order to take care of it. He names her Envy. Learning empathy at his age is easier said than done, but he is notably kinder and less impulsive. Today is the anniversary of Vandra and Algernon getting out of the elevator, so they have decided to go on a walk together. Okay, I dig the art style change when, like, stuff changes between them. Obviously, this, I think, is the story that Algernon wanted rather than real, but still. What should we do today, Algie? That ice cream shop down the road, finally. Ice cream! The pair go get ice cream from the recently opened ice cream parlor. It is very good. It is even better when you are eating it with your best friend. Or boyfriend, maybe. Friend who is a boy and you are also a boy and maybe you are both gay, but stating that outright breaks all the tension or whatever. Vandra got some banana ice cream with cookie crumbs and rainbow sprinkles in a waffle bowl, and Algernon got chocolate chip mint with tiny marshmallows. He should have gotten that with walnuts because it tastes better that way. IMO. This is delicious. It is so good. They sit outside and talk about life as they eat their ice creams. Nandy has apparently become a writer on some TV show. Congratulations, Nandy. Almond has become president. That ice cream was so good I could cry. It is so good I did cry. Maybe now we could go see a movie. Great idea. Mystery of the Bitter Opal just hit theaters. They watched the movie and it's really good. It's a murder mystery about some rich guy who was poisoned because he ate a rock laced in cyanide. Holy shit, wonder who did it. Algernon guessed the twist correctly immediately but didn't spoil it. But Vandra knew he knew because he saw Algernon chuckle and shake his head like 5 minutes into the film. Vandra had no idea and basically forgot who half the characters were by the grand reveal, but he still liked the movie because it was very good. That movie was really cool. I wonder how film people make all that movie magic. Probably a lot of money. True. And then they go to the zoo. Look at all the funny animals. Algernon and Vandra enjoy seeing animals they normally wouldn't have seen, and neither of them worry that maybe the animals are lonely or weirded out by being stared at all the time. Vandra is especially impressed by the aquarium portion, where he sees fish that are way bigger than he thought possible. What the hell? I liked the lemurs. They're funny little guys. I think my favorite was did you know that a giraffe can headbutt you and break all your bones? Big deal, so can I. Wow! I believe you. Please never headbutt me. You got it, bud. Algernon is considered an illegal weapon in many countries, so it's a good thing they don't live in those countries. Now it's later in the day and they decide to actually eat a meal because they only ate ice cream and movie pizza and movie popcorn. And then Vandra probably ate another ice cream, but the type in movie theaters, like coated in chocolate and a plastic wrapper, because he's just like that. They need actual food. They decide to try a food truck nearby and both get some chicken, rice, and mashed potatoes to share. It's very good and makes Vandra nostalgic. Algernon, who has very few memories of his parents and who mostly ate fast food growing up, can't quite relate. This food makes me feel nostalgic. I can't really relate. I'm actually really sad because I know this is all like fake even in their world, but it's funny at the same time. Vandra. Yeah? Oh, so it's actually Algernon who's writing this. I don't think I'm good at writing a story like this. Me neither. Well, you tried. And I do appreciate that. Poor guys. The change again. What the heck? It's really cute. I love these art style changes. It's almost hard to catch, but still. Thanks. I just don't really know what makes someone happy, I think. It's all the context around the event, you know? If you got $1 million, it'd make you happy if you weren't used to having that much. And if you could use it. I don't think getting $1 million would be particularly helpful right now. Yeah. The truth is, I'm just bored. I don't know how to attach meaning. Cool, I saw a good movie. Now what? Haha. Yeah. It's distant again right now. Like your TV feeling. What's it like for you? A memory of a cloud. I can see the limits to something and want to jump past it. Like going out of bounds in a game. Huh. What do you think is there? Something real? So it feels like this isn't real? I mean, yeah. Doesn't it feel kind of weird? Well, yeah, kind of. I've been here before, I think. A circle that's drawn again, but without color. Don't mind me, Before you can finish your thought, you hear a ding. Some far part of your mind recalls what that means, and you look to Vandra in confusion. The doors of the elevator have opened. You really can't hold a roll to save your lives, can you? You snap back into focus. You're trying to gather your bearings. What did you say? Oh, why does Orville have horns? That's not part of the hat, I don't think. I said I'm really sorry, but we have to go now. Orville is holding Orwell's hand. Orwell is looking between you and his older brother. You're both at a picnic. Right, and Nandy and Almond are here. You feel disoriented. You're not sure why. You remember to respond. Well, take care, you two. Thank you. You watch them leave. Orwell turns around and waves goodbye to you all. Well, clearly Orville's the one behind all this, but this is odd. I don't know how this is gonna end. Like, I don't know if there's any proper ending in this or not. Or if they're all just kind of like weird loops and stuff. I guess we'll see. Alright, so I'm gonna say deflect about them falling in love in the story now, see if that changes the ending. Because I'm really not sure how to get all the endings, but I assume some are with the more negative responses and some are with the more positive ones. So we shall see. Whoops. You don't want to talk about this. Love. What a word to use. What kind of love could possibly reach either of you so far below everything you've ever known? To try would be to kid yourself. You feel your mood sour, though you try to avoid showing it. You feel taunted, or maybe tainted. Some part of you is aware Vandra is likely being genuine, but something's wrong. It's not supposed to be this way. It could not be this simple. You refuse to accept this, and you refuse to share. It's just easier not to. Well, maybe they could, but I doubt being trapped like that would lead to anything genuine or healthy. It sounds more like desperation. Vandra's expression deflates. Yeah, I guess that's true. Nothing wrong with being desperate during such a dead end, mind you, but it's probably better to label it honestly. Realistically, some may say. What is the honest and realistic label? You have no clue. Why would you want to be realistic in a story? You're not talking about a story, though, are you? Alright, I'll let you be my pet. Huh? As things are, that's the best I can give you right now. Take it or leave it. Wait a minute. We'll keep making stories and I'll encourage you. Say you've done a great job. I'll be so proud of you. Pat your head, scratch under your chin. The works. Algernon? Final offer, my friend. It's a little cruel what you're doing, maybe. Vandra is lonely, scared, trapped. But so are you, right? There's a deep hatred in your heart you don't know where to point. You just don't want to try to love when it's in you. Maybe he'd understand at some point if you ever left this place. You'd really do that? No, I was just joking. Well, yes, I would do that. Vandra looks away from you, his face now scrunched in thought as he tries to come up with something, anything to say that would get him out of this discomfort. He's always a delight to tease. This couldn't be what love is, right? To enjoy poking and prodding someone, showing how at every turn they're lesser. If that's love, what hope could you have? Don't laugh at me. I'm more laughing at how quickly you jumped from Nandi to me. Vandra stares back at you in bewilderment. What do you... Don't worry. Should rescue ever come, I won't tell her anything. What? What are you talking about? That's all right. I love my pet even when he's got nothing in that head of his. That freaking smile. It was obvious at that time that Vandra wanted to push back. He seemed awkward about it, unable to figure out what to say at all. So you dropped the topic for a little while. Occasionally, though, you'd be a little kinder than usual, or a bit over-enthusiastic in praise, and you'd see a frail flower of a smile bloom across his face. But when he met your gaze, he'd realize what you were doing and turn rose red, breaking eye contact and stuttering. Now you had something fun to do. Something to pass the time. It's just a game like pinning a butterfly. I don't think that's a game. The trick, oh, I see. The trick is to be so gentle, gentle, gentle. When you pet his head for the first time, he tensed up. He turned to face you quickly, and you could see in his baffled expression how close he was to saying no. But the word simply didn't form. Didn't leave his lips. Sorry, you don't have to stop. He didn't know how to word it. He was so unused to affection. Sometimes you wonder if you're acting this way because you want to, or because someone else doesn't want you to. You're not even sure what that means. Truth is, you mistrust this elevator. You doubt its intentions, which is likely not a very sane thing to share, which is why you haven't shared it. It gets to move you both. It gets to contain you both. What do you get to do to it? You started calling Vandra a weasel, then a ferret. Just seemed fun. You never told Almond your thoughts on Orville and why he kept Orwell away from everyone. Seemed like a bad idea. She doesn't think you're very sane on the best of days, so why trust her with something as weird as this? Orville also never seemed to like you. Not that you think you're Mr. Personality or anything, but something about him was always closed. This elevator feels like him. Judging by that other ending we got, I am inclined to think it might be. Vandra, on the other hand, is like putty. It's almost meditative to play around with him and who he is. To pet him, encourage him, sculpt him. Who's a good boy? Not you, never you, but he certainly is. Not having a personality is safe. At least a personality in the normal person sense. Yeah, maybe you end up a little boring because you can't hold a conversation the same way others can. But you never have to say anything offensive or embarrassing. And maybe you'll find someone who doesn't really want your personality anyway. Someone who will just pet you and praise you, just for existing, and you get to feel whatever you want to feel inside without any sort of worry or anticipation of backlash, because the inside feelings aren't carved out into grotesque word mockeries. No one has to know what's in there, ever. Instead, you get to speak with your body. Your hands, your face, all of your muscles and skin, teeth and hair and claws and. It's like a dance, a painting in motion. Sound that's yours. Without a personality, you also don't have person expectations. You don't have to be embarrassed of anything anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. Algernon, you think, gets that since, for your lack to matter, he has to be the opposite pole. He talks to you still. You get to choose what you heard and understood from what he said. You get to ignore whatever it is you don't want to focus on. Sometimes you're a little shit on purpose. Good for you, Vandra. Not your problem. No responsibility. None. Ha ha ha. Living is like a cloud. A thin dream you waft through like a leaf floats on water. The only time you talk is when you feel like telling Algernon about the well. He can't go in it, but you can. So you do, and you try climbing all the way down it. But you never find the end. But sometimes you see interesting things like cloths and fur, and one time even a flat piece of wood with metal bits that Algernon went ooh at. He called it a railroad tie. How fashionable of the railroads. Today you are coming back up from the well, and when you see Algernon, you also see someone else is with him. You're not sure when they got here, just now. Algernon seems startled. They seem familiar. You don't know why. Something scares you. It takes you a moment, but the reason dawns on you. They came through the elevator doors. Right. The elevator. That's where you are. You're about to exit it once it reaches the 3rd floor. Orville is heading out today, and he's asked you to watch his little brother for him. The elevator seems so slow, as though being manually dragged by something much too large and much too tired. Your stomach churns. Why did you agree to do this again? What do you have to gain here? You try to rationalize your worries away. You're not hurting anyone, just knowingly doing something Orville seems to dislike while he is not there, and thus won't know and will be unable to stop you. And the thing you're doing just happened to involve his little brother. This isn't fucking creepy or terrifying at all. Absent-mindedly, you chew on your bottom lip as you look at the elevator screen, waiting for it to display the number 3. You don't get why Almond wants you to do this. Sure, yeah, she said maybe Orwell is in trouble and talking to him could clarify if he is. Child safety. Really important. But did Almond even ask Orville about anything? He's kind of reserved at times, but wouldn't that be a meaningful thing to do before going behind his back? And what if this makes everything worse? There must be something you're overlooking somewhere. Somehow. Almond always knows what she's doing. You feel uncomfortably warm now. Why did you decide to wear a sweater? The weather's been way too hot lately. You worry you're sweating. Will Orville be able to tell you're nervous? Or, well, more nervous than usual? Will that be a problem? Why are you even doing this? Because Almond asked? Do you want to impress her that much, or are you just scared to say no? The elevator stops abruptly, and the doors open. You stand frozen in place. Before you take a deep breath and step out. I don't know which one of these are the true ending. Maybe there is no true ending, but this is very weird. I dig it. All right, now we're going back to this. Does Vandra have a chant with Nandi? Maybe not. Why do you ask? I figure this might lead to another ending. Then how do I get the final ending? Vandra looks down and fiddles with his thumbs. Oh, I think it would be nice if someone liked me like that. Like what? Like I'm special to them. That they feel about me something that they don't feel about others. Just me. I see. I'm not sure you will get that from Nandi. His smile looks a little more sad. Yeah, I figured. Does it have to be her? Huh? The person who treats you like you're special. Does it have to be Nandi? Vandra wilts slightly. Well, I guess not. You smile. It's just barely too wide. Maybe you don't really like her in the way you think, then. Vandra sighs. Yeah, probably not. What are you looking for? In being treated in a special way. What? Well, he thinks and looks uncomfortable the entire time he does so. Just special, you know. Little thoughtful considerations, being focused on, being cherished. Those are vague. Give me an example. What's with the interrogation all of a sudden? You don't need to reply if you don't want to. I don't know what I'm looking for. It's hard to think of examples. It's hard to think of anyone being kind to me. Let's make someone up, then. Huh? You've got a secret admirer. They've blindfolded you. Huh? What do you want them to do? Unblindfold me. Nope. What else? What? You spend time emotionally toying with Vandra as he tries in vain to weasel out of your metaphorical grip. All things considered, a good time was had. Eventually, you both nap. Days have passed and passed and passed. Or at least it feels like it's been days, hard to tell with lack of outside indicators. Okay. You've been thinking lately. Thinking about your life and about secret admirers. You remember a boy giving you a rose when you were children. He did it when you were out of view, placing the rose in your backpack. You knew it was him, and other kids would start teasing, but he'd shove them and make them shut up. It seemed important to him that you didn't know, so you pretended not to. You must have been 10 at most back then. Now you're 24 and also a guy. You don't know where that boy is anymore. You don't remember his name, his face, who he is. It's funny how large everyone seemed growing up. You recall being a first grader and thinking the fifth graders were massive. You recall 20 seeming like the oldest age anyone could ever be. You're older than that now, but you still feel tiny, tiny, tiny. You're not sure if you even have dreams. Goals. What could this secret admirer see in you? Would they still see a little girl? The thought distresses you, and you fidget with your sweater. You're not sure if people really change. Have you? In ways that matter. Does it matter that your name is different? Does it matter that your hair is short and you got some fat removed from your chest? What could you possibly want from a secret admirer? What? You look to Algernon. What sort of life has he had? You don't know much about him despite knowing him for years. Why does he care what you'd want? Why would anyone care? You wait a while, wading in shallow waters of your mind before Algernon wakes up. Morning. Morning. Algernon, why do you want to know what I'd want from a partner? I like feeling you, like running one's hands over the walls of a home, sensing the distance, the curves, the corners. And knowing what I want from a partner lets you feel me? Knowing what you want is like seeing your organs through echolocation. I like how Algernon kind of looks like a cat now. That's kind of creepy. Only kind of. Algernon, can you tell me a memory of yours? Like a childhood one. I want to know about you. When I was a kid, I was shorter than others my age, and everyone thought I was a girl. Oh. I discovered this meant that I could hit boys with little to no consequences. Really? Maybe I just grew up around some chivalrous types. Were they upset later? Oh yeah. One guy in particular took it real personal. Tried to bully me in all sorts of ways. Oh no. Haha, yeah. I think he liked me. Liked you? Yup. I think he liked me as a girl, and that didn't go away when he knew I wasn't one. So he had to try to hate me. That was interesting. You don't know what you were expecting, but it wasn't that. So have you thought about what you want? Yes, but I don't really know still. What do you want in a partner? I want someone I can play with. Malleable. Fun. That's also kind of scary. Don't worry so much. I'd be kind. Arguably. Even though you're looking at them like some kind of toy? Sure, being kind is about actions. I'd cherish them, and my actions would reflect that. Oh. Well, being cherished sounds nice. You'd want that. You feel like the devil himself is awaiting your response. That should scare you, shouldn't it? Yeah? Algernon smiles. He's been smiling the whole time, but something about it catches your eye. I'd cherish you. Would you really? Of course. I'd keep you safe, too. If that's what you wanted. It sounds nice. You're not sure what to say. There's nowhere else but here with him. That's appealing in a very strange way. Do you ever feel empty? All the time. All the time. I don't like the feeling. I want to feel whole. Like, well, I don't know. It's weird. I'm interested. Are you sure? Yeah, try me. Are you really sure? You point right at Algernon. If you laugh, I'll never talk to you again. I'm sure. The longer you delay, the more I want to know. once I came across a story where a griffin unbirthed someone and laid them as an egg, and they got to relive their whole life as a griffin instead. Oh my god. The corners of Algernon's mouth begin to wiggle. Don't laugh. His expression is fucking hilarious. He bares his teeth and his chest rises up some. Don't laugh. Please elaborate how this relates to the topic at hand. You feel prickly and stupid for oversharing now, but technically he hasn't laughed at you, and you might as well finish your thought. Well, I thought the idea of being reset was nice. Like, whatever holes and scars existed before don't anymore. Because you're new. And you're not even bound to your old family anymore, you know? You're free, I guess. Free, huh? Algernon pauses, seeming to try to take in your words. That makes sense. I was about to say, I don't think any partner could possibly unbirth you. Or turn you into a griffin. I certainly can't. Ha ha. Come on, you've got to admit that it's a little funny that you opened with that. You don't talk again for a while after that. You're not sure why you shared that. When you try being open, you just sound pretty stupid. What would telling him he bothered you accomplish? Nothing. He'd joke his way out of it, probably. You lay down in your corner of the elevator and check your phone. Nothing has changed, of course, so you just stare at the metal floor. God! Yeah, you know no one can unbirth you. You're not even interested in that aspect. Ugh! Wait, how does he know what unbirthing is without you telling him? Maybe he's chronically online. That's how I know. Whatever. You think back to the boy who gave you a rose. He didn't even give you a rose, really. He placed it in your bag. That's a difference worth keeping in mind, isn't it? He wasn't really brave enough to be honest about his feelings to you. But that's okay. You weren't really brave enough to say how you felt about him either. So it worked out for you. You had no interest in him. None. But boy, was it nice to receive a rose from a stranger and pretend it could be from anyone at all. I'm wanted, I'm wanted. Isn't that nice? You consider this as you close your eyes, eventually drifting to sleep. There's a little creature at the shoreline, and it's waiting for its parents. But only strangers come. These are very familiar strangers it's known its whole life. It goes along with them every day before returning to the shoreline and waiting. maybe its real parents will never come because they are dead and it killed them. It had considered this possibility. But waiting feels like if there's a chance, it won't miss out on when they do arrive. If it gives up, it's made the choice to end everything ever, forever, and that's not okay. If it happens, it'll be worth it, worth everything, because everything will be okay. No, everything will be better than okay. Everything will be good and it will be happy. It's gotten very good at pretending. It knows how to be nice and harmless and look like the perfect inept, helpless little thing, girl or boy. The inept part isn't so much pretending as the nice and harmless parts are, but altogether that's what parents want, it thinks. If they're out there, they'll find it. It's kind of like being a mousetrap, except instead of snapping a mouse in half, you just attach the mouse and the mouse is really happy to have you and everyone wins. And this is a normal thing that happens between normal people who go on to lead normal, fulfilling lives. The only way to be happy is to be normal, so this is very important. Right now, there's a shark at the shore. Oh no, it can see the shark circling nearby, his fin just above water. The shark is not biting it though, which is good, but maybe that's just because it's too far to be bitten. Also, its strangers aren't here, which is maybe not so good. Actually, no one is here. It's just the shark. It knows looking helpless and inept and weak probably looks really delicious to the shark. And it knows that's probably not good, but also it's really tired all the time, of coming here and waiting. It wonders sometimes if normal is actually real, and if it can actually become normal one day, and have normal family, and life, and job, and all of that, or if normal is just a story that the TV tells little things to torture them. If it looks at the shark in the right way, it can pretend he's just another animal. Like a dolphin. Dolphins have fins too, right? Yes, in fact, they have very similar dorsal fins to sharks. They're supposed to be nicer. Sometimes. But actually, it doesn't even like dolphins. The shark is mostly under the water, which is good for imagining different things. So the thing at the shoreline stares at him and keeps trying to turn him into something different, over and over and over. Eventually, the shark fin becomes the tippy top of a kangaroo tail. Why is a kangaroo underwater? Why not? Maybe he's a mermaroo. Maybe he's just super duper extra special to make up for all the time it has spent waiting and 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 waiting. The shark is fine with this, even if it's silly. Sure, he'll be a mermaid crossed with a kangaroo. Why not? Playing pretend is a good trait for a parent to have. Wanting to eat the creature is not optimal, but if you erase to eat, all that's left is wanting the creature, which is the best trait for a parent to have. Maybe he won't bite it. The shark said he wouldn't. If he does, he'll be all alone, and that's probably bad, right? It kicks its feet at the edge of the water. It's a sunny day. You've kept your word with Vandra. You cherish him. It is difficult sometimes due to how ineffably easy it would be to hurt him. These are very common intrusive thoughts that you have over and over again. The closer he is, the stronger you feel to them. It would be effortless to wrap your fingers around his neck and squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until he struggles, gasps, and looks at you with confusion, with terror. That's what you want, after all. You want him to look at you more and more. You want him to be influenced by you, changed by you. You want to feel yourself through him. Feel alive, actual, real through him. But you're good about this. You cherish him. You said you would, so you do. It's a little weird. He's both here and somewhere far away, but you know how to be gentle. So you are. You know how to encourage. So you do. You're pretty sure whatever he's getting out of this is different from what you get out of it. But that's fine. You take his hands in yours. They're warm. Sometimes you place them on your neck. He never squeezes, but he might sometime. It's a pleasant thrill to consider and look forward to. It all feels like a dream when you're not quite asleep or in a place that shouldn't exist. It's pretty alright for a time, even if you're sure it'll probably come crashing down at some point. But that's really nice too. It'll be your crash and you'll cherish it equally as much as you cherish whatever this is right now. But no. Of course, someone else has to show up. This is disappointing, the stranger in black says. His tone drips with disgust, and you can't help but feel venomous in return. What does he know about anything? This stranger can't fathom what it means to cherish, what it means to refrain, what it means to indulge. You turn away from him and look to Vandra to speak. I came here as quick as I could. I swear to God I didn't see him come back. Wait, really? You're standing in the open elevator and he's staring at you blankly. The elevator doors start to close, so you hit the open doors button, jolting Vandra out of his stupor. Let's get out of here. Vandra nods and enters the elevator with you. What happened? You take a seat at the counter near the small table where Orwell is drawing. You watch him for a while before awkwardly speaking. So, Orwell, do you remember when you were at the picnic? I wasn't there, but Alman said you mentioned a friend of yours. Oh! Oh, Orwell's cute. Orwell looks around as if making sure it's just the two of you. He then looks back and nods. Would you mind sharing more? Orwell looks a little conflicted. His response is a whisper. Orby said I shouldn't talk about him anymore. Oh, why? Orwell shakes his head. Dunno. Honestly, you'd be glad to drop the topic here. You really were going to, but Orwell continued to speak. Wanna know a secret? Sure. Orwell looks around again before leaning forward, closer to you. He's got a big, bright smile as he whispers excitedly. What I feel always matters, even if other people don't know. He told me that. So even though Orby said not to talk, I wanna, so I will. Oh. That's really true, Lely. Your feelings always matter. You smile and he nods. Yeah. He also said I am good. Always. That's true too. Orwell smiles, then the smile looks a little more somber, bittersweet. He slumps in his chair some. The third thing he said was he'll always want to be my friend. But Orby says I can't see God anymore right now, though. You feel a bit cold. You're really hoping this is just some kind of weird imaginary friend issue. It has to be because you're not sure what could be going on otherwise. Before you can gather your thoughts, Orwell has leaned forward again with a mischievous expression. I had a dream with him today, though. A dream? Orwell grabs one of the papers he had been drawing and holds it up. There are purple and blue marker scribbles in the shape of a humanoid with large arms. You can't read the drawing very well. In my dream, I drew him, so I drew him for real. This looks very nice, Orwell. Thank you. It's wrong, but only a little wrong, I think. He's a bird and he's big and walks on 2 legs. I had a dream I drew him, so I did. Orwell puts the paper back down on his little table. You're not really sure where to go with questioning from here. He's certainly passionate about this bird guy. One time he was so nice to me I cried. Huh? I'm never gonna forget him even if Orby wants me to. Never ever. Never ever ever. And that's when he was just there again, saying his job didn't need him today after all or something. Hey. Yeah? What the fuck? Yeah. There's a bit of silence as you try to absorb what Vandra just shared. I'm gonna send a message in the group chat, I guess. Give an update. Yeah, good idea. Hey. Yeah? Shouldn't we have reached the ground floor by now? I see. So we're learning a little bit here and there of what exactly happened. Clearly, Orville is the one who is behind this, but I don't know how or why. Alright, how the hell do I get another ending? Sure, yeah, someone's bound to look for us sooner or later. Does Vandra have a chance with Nandi? Yes-ish? Maybe. Nandi is pretty giving and tends to try everything once. So if you're honest with her, you might be able to land a friends with benefits kind of thing. Pretty sure she has a thing for digging around in people's vulnerabilities. And you, Vandra. You place a hand on his shoulder, smiling. Are vulnerable. Vandra seems a little taken aback, his brows furrowing as he looks to the hand on his shoulder, then to your eyes. He smiles like he doesn't understand and just wants to avoid conflict. You love that smile. Oh, thanks? No problem. You consider moving your hand to his neck, but it is an urge you can't justify. So you pull your hand back after keeping it on him for a little too long. You decide to keep to yourself for now, folding yourself up in a corner different from Vandra's. You don't enjoy holding back, but you also don't enjoy impulses you cannot discern. You spoke of this once to Almond, but she didn't seem to understand. It's different from the typical flight or fancy or silly thought that crosses your mind. The closest you get to wording the feeling is perfunctory hunger. It is as though someone else has motioned towards a path and said, "This is where you should go, this is what you should want." And part of your mind tries to comply while the other part, the part you presume is you, does its best to pull away. It confuses you. It makes you feel ugly and tangled inside. You spend time ruminating over this intrusive feeling, attempting to dissect it and figure out why it emerges more around Vandra. Eventually, you close your eyes. Days have passed and passed and passed. At least this is what you assume. Currently, your mind conjured up a scenario where your aunt's a serial murderer with her sights set on you. Gotta leave no witnesses. You grumble as you wake from such a tense dream. Annoying. In real life, you don't even have an aunt. You're certain, though, that these dreams are likely related to the soul-searching you've been doing. You dislike interacting with Vandra while this nagging tick of a feeling nips at your mind. So you've been dedicating time to finding said tick. Admittedly, this has strained your communication. It's different from being patient with Vandra. It's more like being cautious. Yes, you've been polite to this idiot boy, and yes, he seems to appreciate that behavior to some degree. But you do not like this. Every reaction given is tainted by the fact that it was not from communication you wanted to have, but rather communication you had because... Because what? Because you're scared? Is that it? You squint your eyes and shift uncomfortably. You want to refuse this, but your refusal likely proves it further. You stay curled up in your corner of the elevator, drifting back to sleep. Vandra went up to the room while you stayed out in the parking lot, the car pretty unassuming and tucked off to the side. It took some time, but Orville did eventually call up Vandra, and only Vandra. Just like Almond predicted. The plan was simple. Vandra babysits Orwell. He just also asks a few little questions here and there to prod around. If things seem okay, nothing else need be done. You figure that's what Vandra's hoping for. Orville probably just has some embarrassing family secret. No biggie. Nandy and Almond had a spat over this, though. Nandy felt Almond was being reckless and nosy, while Almond argued Nandy would let abuse continue because it's convenient. You're sure Almond knew Nandy was right. There's no way Vandra, of all people, would be able to help Orwell if something was actually happening. In fact, interfering could put Orwell in more danger. There's no way Almond didn't consider this. So why go for it? You weren't sure of her reasons, but you didn't mind. You've always been glad to encourage people's most moronic, chaotic ideas, and this time was no different. You sat there ready to peel out with Vandra should anything occur. Nothing seems to go wrong, though. You see Orville leave the building, and figure your job is pretty much done. You shoot Vandra a text confirming Orville has left, and that he can now ask Orwell about whatever thing Almond wanted to know. Sorry if you heard me kick my desk. You awake once more. In your groggy, disagreeable state, you have to admit to yourself, fear sucks. Yes, another of your revolutionary thoughts, you know. Fear makes you hate living. So you ignore it when it's present. You wonder briefly over your enjoyment in seeing Vandra scared. It's nice. It makes you feel like more than just yourself. Is this what feeling whole is? Do you really need to scare him to feel whole? Or is this something else? Do you enjoy that? Or does something else? You're not sure what's you and what's not. That's a bit odd, right? Probably. You try to define yourself. You think about how there's you, there's Vandra, and there's the creature on the outside. Huh? Your mind snaps back into attention. You look to Vandra. He is sleeping. You are both still in the elevator. Neither of you have been outside it. Why did you assume there is something out there? You don't understand. You're afraid, but not of the thing outside, rather of whatever is in your head that gave you that thought. It is not supposed to be there, whatever is outside, so it is not always outside. It's aware that you're aware of it. This distresses you, but the creature outside doesn't seem to pounce on your fear or anything like that. Haha. It's nicer than you are to Vandra. Speaking of Vandra, oh, he is sleeping. Sleeping. When will he wake up? You suddenly feel a hole in your chest, a loneliness so vast you can barely comprehend it. You're a piece of paper something just tore through, and you can feel every last crease and tear. The elevator barely exists now. Instead, you're surrounded by unruly vines and rocks and wires and rays, and you can't help but yell in shock. Has the world always been this way? You shrink backwards against Vandra, like huddling to a candle in a blizzard. But he doesn't stir because you probably didn't actually do that. You're so tired of that stupid cat in that stupid box. Yes, you understand that things that appear mutually exclusive only do so because you are a being that most easily perceives 3 dimensions as location and a 4th as transitional. You don't need this repeated all the time. You reach for Vandra with one hand, and with the same hand you grip at your own neck. That doesn't make sense. You're not totally sure what is happening, and simultaneously you're so bored by it all happening again. Maybe rather you're not sure what is happening to. A memory creeps into you, wearing your skin. In it, you lay on your side as thoughts roll about in your mind like tumbleweeds. You are rotting, but not allowed to notice. You aren't allowed the things you want. You aren't allowed to feel tired. How strange. The truth is that you're so bored of this world. You're so bored of this weird unspoken pressure keeping everyone on rails, going nowhere fast. Not that anyone needs to go anywhere in particular, really. It's just that retreading old ground that isn't even yours is plain insulting. You become aware that one's existence is immensely contingent on everything around it. Should you have been born a second late or early, you'd be a completely different person. Duh. You're aware the thing outside is staring at you. It's familiar in some way. A loud voice snaps you back. Algernon. Vandra, are you okay? Complicated question. You say this, smiling and as if out of breath. Vandra looks concerned. Of course he does. I'm all right, don't worry about it, is what you want to say. Something is very wrong, and I've known this for a long time, but only now is it actively shredding my thin sense of self for some reason. I am cheese to the grater, please help me, is what you'd like to say if you maybe took a second to consider being more vulnerable. What comes out is neither of those. There's a diamond with holes in it, Vandra. We're falling through, or maybe we're born on the other side all along, destined to drown. What? We're the reflection of a coin flip, but the motion isn't captured. Time is emulated, but will is not, and it's all falling apart. You can't help but begin to tear up. You don't know why. You know why. Knowing makes it worse. Not knowing makes it worse. You reach towards Vandra, but you're not sure if you actually did. You're stuck in infinitesimally smaller halfway points on your way to him. There's a cut on my finger in the shape of a sine wave. It won't be remembered. All of these tiny pieces. What gets retained? This is it? Just this? This is all she saw? What? Who saw? You can't stand the fear in Vandra's eyes. It's horrible. It's a wall. I'm sorry. You've always been my friend. I just didn't know. I didn't know how to share it, Vandra. I'll pick up the pencils, I promise. Every single one. Algernon? He's looking at you with pity. He doesn't understand, but neither do you. Can't he? Can't he? Time passes as it always does. Algernon is kind of a mess. When you try to talk to him, he says things that kind of scare you a lot. But sometimes he says very, very nice things. Pretty things. Things that are like pictures, but with words. He's just really confused, and while that's frightening sometimes, he's never tried to hurt you. So you don't hold it against him. You know what it's like to be confused and lost. You're both doing your best through the maze. It's hard to stick together though. You suspect Algernon sees something different from what you see. Sometimes he can walk places where there are walls for you. And sometimes he seems unable to pass through an empty space unless you close his eyes, which is a little difficult because you're not entirely sure where his eyes are sometimes, nor how many he currently has. You both hold hands to make sure neither of you lose the other. Sometimes, in the rare moments of a star-filled sky or a lilac flower, something clicks for him and he is lucid. You like these times because he's calm and talks to you. Maybe lucid isn't quite the right word because he also talks to someone else you can't see, but apart from that, he is pretty present. He talks very kindly in these moments, even nicer than before all this occurred. Though sometimes he gets stuck apologizing, and you have to tell him he's already done that. Sometimes he'll smile a little awkwardly and talk about something else, but other times he seems concerned and says things like, "No, you don't understand. It's lonely in a way you don't have words for." He's here with you, but he's also so far away. Sometimes you feel so close to understanding whatever it is he's talking about, but then you lose it. And you look at him and how far he is and how small he feels, and you squeeze his hand and hope it reaches him through whatever, and whenever, and wherever. One day, there's someone else. You spot them in the distance. They seem oddly familiar, but you're not sure why. You ask if this is who Algernon has been speaking to, but he keeps quiet and still. The stillness spikes your anxiety. Algernon hasn't acted like that before, and you find yourself thinking about dinosaurs in movies and how they see movement, and so you shouldn't move. But this isn't a movie, and that guy doesn't look like a dinosaur. So you decide to take a turn in the maze. The moment you turn, the warmth of Algernon's hand in yours disappears. Oh, your heart drops. He shouldn't be here. The conversation ends immediately. Conversation? Were you speaking? Oh, you were, weren't you? You're seated, wide-eyed and a little slack-jawed at the counter. You turn to face your guest. Oh, hi, Orville. Hello, Vandra. Hi, Orby. Orwell chirps up from the table nearby. He doesn't seem to see a problem with what just happened, even though you could swear you didn't hear the door open, or his steps approaching or anything at all. Algernon was supposed to text you if Orville came back. Why didn't he? Turns out my boss didn't need me there after all, so I came right back. Haha. Oh, that's great news. You say this and smile. I guess I'll be going then. Yes. Thank you, Vandra. You get up and bow awkwardly. You did it without thinking. Every footstep towards the door feels like dragging yourself through sludge. You feel that if you trip here, you'll never be seen again. Reaching the doorway is a miracle. You turn around. Bye, Orville. Bye, Orwell. Goodbye. Well, clearly, some of this I think must be a metaphor, but some of it might be clearly Orville's doing. He's not human. He has horns. Like, that is very obvious. Let me try one more thing. Alright, no-ish. It depends. Speaking as her friend, I doubt she's interested in you romantically. Not that she dislikes you, just, well, I don't think she does romance, really. You can see Vandra's expression shift, his head tilting slightly in confusion. Nandy's a free spirit type. She can get close to someone, she can be intimate with someone, but it doesn't mean she will be monogamous. Vandra nods his head slowly. Oh, so she'll sleep with me, but not just me? I wouldn't word it like that, exactly. Vandra lets out a melodic sigh, then looks to the ground in thought. What's on his mind, you wonder? You start to question if telling him this was a bit cruel. After a moment, he furrows his brow and grimaces. Ugh, dating is weird. I don't know, like if Nandy does whatever with other people, why do I care about that? If she still cares about me, does it make a difference? You're not dating. I mean, yeah, I know that. It's just an example, but why does it matter? You can't lie, you're a bit surprised. You haven't seen Vandra get so worked up like this so quickly before. Guys wanting to sleep with everyone is just seen as natural. But a girl wants to do that and it's a deal breaker? Am I that shallow? Nandy doesn't want to sleep with just anyone, I don't think. Vandra sighs. I'm talking more broadly right now. I try to be progressive or whatever, so why does this matter to me? Am I even hung up over this? Or do I just feel like I should be? Have you ever felt that way? What way? Like you don't know why you feel something. It just doesn't make sense to you. Yes. What do you do with it? Well, first I try to see if it's something I actually feel, or if it's someone else's opinion I've absorbed. Huh? Like an expectation someone has? Yeah, something like that. I mean, it could be a societal expectation thing. You mentioned that. Are you bothered if other women do it, even if they're not dating you? I guess not. You smile a little. Sounds like you're easily jealous. No way! It tracks. What? What do you mean by that? It suits you. No, it doesn't. I am not jealous. You hold your silence, just smiling at Vandra. He seems to expect some kind of reply, and is baffled when he doesn't get it. His eyes dart around, and he stutters as if looking for words, before finally continuing the conversation. Tell me why you think that. You really want to know? Yes. Really? Yes, really. You sigh. Vandra, you try way too hard to be pleasant. You act like this harmless, cute, kind boy with a lowercase b. You make yourself easily accessible. You avoid conflict neurotically. You put all your effort into being smooth and toothless. Just so maybe you can be blessed with a bite out of someone's time. There's absolutely no chance that if someone were to date you, you wouldn't obsessively compare yourself to anyone and everyone else they interact with. You're kind of a bloodsucker, Vandra. Just in softer, more helpless packaging. Bloodsucker? Yup. Well, what should I do? To be better. To feel better. To get out of here. I don't know. You smile wryly. I have no idea, Vandra. Vandra seems exasperated. So much for trying to be nice. He still ended up getting neurotic about being in a weird little elevator, and you still said something kinda shitty. It's just really hard to be nice to him sometimes. He's lived his whole life for approval from others, and now it's just you here. Sucks for him. Oh well, neither of you talked to the other for some time. Eventually, you close your eyes. Days have passed and passed and passed. At least this is what you assume. Alright, no hunger. Vandra seems to be experiencing that. Speaking of Vandra, he has started to look at you differently. You expected this to happen at some point, and here it is. He's likely upset by how blunt you were previously. That would also explain barely saying a word to one another. People like him tend to be some of the most resentful people on the planet, don't they? He wanted to know, so you told him. You wanted to say more, actually, but you engaged in a superhuman feat of willpower and stopped yourself. Maybe you shouldn't have. You've tried multiple times to baby Vandra, and for what? It's frustrating. He shoots you another glance, then looks down at himself again. You suppose you could start being forward now. What is it, Vandra? Oh, now he's like a little bumblebee. You've been staring at me on and off for a while now. Do you have something to say? Oh, yeah. Can I borrow your sweater? It's, really cold. Is it? Huh. You pull off your sweater and hand it to Vandra. Vandra grasps at it and looks delighted, immediately putting it on top of his own sweater. Thanks. Here it comes. He's looking over you and seems a little concerned. Is he going to say something or keep his mouth shut? Algernon, you're really skinny. Of course. Yes. Are you alright? Yes. Really? You sigh. Never mind. Vandra turns to look back into his corner. These kind of conversations are annoying, so you're glad that's over. Do you have an eating disorder? Vandra had turned around very quickly and is looking at you again. There's nothing to do. You might as well answer. I just don't like the way it feels to eat. But you need it to be healthy. Thanks, Vandra. I had no idea that food is necessary to live. I've been thinking about you calling me a bloodsucker. Well, I think you're more of a cat. Huh? Yeah. You're kind of holier than thou and untouchable most of the time, but when you're in pain, you hide it. I don't really want to be a bloodsucker, maybe, but I think you're right. What else could I be but a parasite? I'm touch-starved, clingy, whatever. Do I really think about other people, or do I just pretend to? Even now, I'm just talking to you because if I don't, I'm bored. Do I even care about being a bloodsucker, so long as I get the blood, so to speak? Vandra sighs. This is so stupid! Is this one of those come to Jesus moments? Is that what you're doing? Maybe? What do you want from me, Vandra? What are you saying this for? I don't know. That's a lie. I do know. It's just weird. I like weird. I don't know. Tell me. Be my friend, be my audience. Gas me up, go, whoa, so cool, smile for me, just for me, talk to me, give me attention. Be here for me, me, be happy, but only if I did it. Be fun and interesting. Keep me entertained. Make my heart feel full and fuller and fullest and gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, what the fuck? In the time you haven't talked, something has definitely fucking happened. You've a strange blend of disgust and intrigue whirring about inside of you, and in the end, all you can say is, what do I get? Oh, I don't know. What do you want? I want you to show me how much you really want this attention. Okay. How do I do that? How about you pretend to be Nandy? What's your impression of her? Teach me, oh mosquito, from whence the best blood doth come. If I'm the audience, give me a show. Hey, Nandy. He looks so uncomfortable and confused, head tilted, brow furrowed. Hey, sup? You crack a smile. Vandra's actually doing it. Not much. Well, actually, that's kind of the issue. I'm trapped in an elevator with Vandra and nothing is happening. We're not going anywhere. Sounds like it sucks. Just a bit, just a tad. Vandra's already losing his head some. Asked me up front if I had an eating disorder. Oh, Vandra. He also asked me if I had a chance with you. Really? Yikes. I kind of might have led him to believe the answer is no solely because I felt jealous. These two are so messed up, but it's funny. Vandra stares at you for a while. Behind the surprise, you spot a bit of hunger. Is something wrong, Nandy? No, I was just thinking about vampire things. Ah, yes, your famous vampire antics. You know me. Batty. Classic Nandy. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that I said that to him since it was selfish of me. How do you actually feel about Vandra? Maybe I could clear things up. He's sweet enough. He's opened up to me sometimes. Vandra's looking away, face scrunched in thought. You have to give it to him. He is definitely trying more than you thought he would. He's kind of pathetic, but it's kind of nice. He's more of a freak than I thought. Oh. Yeah, he's such a fucking furry man. You laugh. Please tell me his persona is a white rabbit twink. Vandra shakes his head. He hasn't shown me. But about dating Vandra, he's a nice guy, but not really special or anything. A little dull. Your answer wasn't wrong, even if you were being petty. Well, that's good to know then. What an interesting idea of Nandy. You decide to lean back onto Vandra, putting your arms behind your head as you lay on his chest. So, what have you been up to? Any news on Almond? Vandra is looking down at you, absolutely baffled. I'm fine, yeah, she's been irritating. Nothing new. It's obvious Vandra has no idea what to do with his hands. Would Nandy touch him? He must be wondering. It's her fault you two are stuck in that elevator now, right? But she won't even take responsibility for that. That's one way of looking at it, sure. It's quiet between the two of you for a while. You turn your head some, and now you can hear his heartbeat. Isn't that a little weird? Neither of you are hungry or thirsty. You both sleep more out of boredom than need. Yet here you are, listening to that little heart of his beat. Still trying its damnedest. Hasn't anyone ever told him he doesn't have to try so hard? You feel one of his hands atop your head, fingers gently stroking through your hair. What's another way to look at it? Well, Vandra and I chose to go through with this. We could have said no. Why did you say yes? I wanted to see where this would go. Dumb decisions can have interesting destinations. Do you think this is an interesting destination? Well, no. We're not at the destination. Elevator keeps moving, won't open. So the elevator isn't the destination itself. Nah, at least I don't think so. Never liked when a game just ended on an infinite loop. Sometimes we encounter what we don't like. Guess that's true. He's still playing with your hair. It's a nice sensation. His touch is soft. I would have said no. To Almond. Could have just asked Orville about it all. Still can, maybe. Huh? Vandra and I can't. We're stuck in the elevator, and our messages don't go through. But you could probably message him, Nandy. Vandra's hands stop moving, and you know he isn't quite sure what to do. But then you feel him shift to the side some, causing you to slide a bit, now laying on his lap instead. Vandra is leaning to his bag to take out his phone. You hear its little startup sound. That's true. He taps on the screen. His commitment to the bit amuses you. He reads aloud. Hey Orville, it's Nandy. Almond had a stupid plan and now Vandra and Algernon are trapped in an elevator, so I suppose my plan can't hurt at this point. What was all that about with Orwell? Should we be worried? Thanks. Great work. Maybe our sacrificial trip in this weird elevator won't be for nothing after all. You look up at Vandra. I want you to imitate me now. Vandra's eyes widen. Was Nandy not enough? It was fun, but I wonder what I look like to you. I want to know. He sits up and pokes your nose. Bold start. Why do you want to know, I wonder? Holy shit, this is so weird. Meeting myself. Yeah, a bit. I think other people might freak out, but not me. Cool as a cucumber. Oh my god. Anyway, is there a reason you're so comfortable on my lap? Never took myself for the now none of us will be virgins type, but I guess I learn something new every day. You laugh a stupid laugh. He is clearly so much more over the top about his impression of you compared to Nandy. I suppose I'll try anything once. Really? I think I'm worth at least a thrice try. You wound me. Come on, don't be that way. It's a cramped space. What would Vandra say? Don't worry, he can watch. You make a noise somewhere between car exhaust and bird squawk. You think I'd say that? I did say that. Keep up. You turn over, holding your body up over Vandra's, not quite pinning him down, but almost. Don't tempt me. Vandra stares at you for a while, and then starts shaking his head and wiggling about. Ah! Okay, you win. Algernon! All right. You pull away, sitting back off of him. You have a problem with commitment, Vandra. You'll text Orville, but you won't play gay chicken with me. I'm heartbroken. What? How is texting Orville remotely comparable to that? And you're the one who has trouble committing. Mister, I said you don't have a chance because I'm jealous, and I only admitted that while you were pretending to be someone else so it was easier to acknowledge what I just said. Did you say something? Algernon! Yes. Vandra huffs and bits of pieces of words come out, but nothing intelligible. You smile, delighted, overjoyed, invigorated by his frustration. Then he lunges forward, and now you are the one pinned. Commitment. Your turn. Vandra immediately shoves his hand into your mouth. You're so shocked by this, you don't even think to try to keep your mouth closed. His hand doesn't really fit right. You're so baffled you're not even sure what you're tasting. And you can feel his fingers trying to go deeper. I'm Algernon, and I just want to do completely unhinged shit all the time. You start to cough and struggle. But I also don't do anything too weird since I'm not actually that imaginative. You feel him stretching your mouth. Your lips bleed. You finally think to try to bite him. Oh, fuck! Vandra tries pulling his hand back and you ease up, letting him. You shove him off of you. You cough further, trying to catch your breath. Time passes and passes. You really enjoy playing with Algernon. You've gotten much better at it. You're so good at pretending. That's always been your one skill. It's actually surprisingly easy to be social if you don't involve yourself at all. You've got a bounty of different Nandys, Algernons, Almonds, and whoever else you can play instead. And you do. You play the whole world, actually. Algernon goes about his business and it's just you every step of the way. He's buying a new car. He's gotta talk to a car salesman, of course, so there you are. Groceries. He's gotta talk to a cashier, right? Doom scrolling alone in his room. People gotta post things for him to read, and hey, your people. You see everything he does, and he sees everything you do, since everything you do is for him. When you're a parasite, it's really easy to say things like that and sound like you mean it. Even think you mean it. He plays back too, after all. He tries to do things to make you break character. You don't remember the last time that's happened, though. You haven't been Vandra in ages. You're his whole world, and he's yours. Except that's not true, because one day you get a text message and it's not from him. What the fuck? People don't exist, only you and he exist. So, huh? Huh? The text reads, "No need to worry at all." Who asked? Who cares? Well, you cares. Holy shit. You message the group chat as soon as you notice the text message. Guys, Orville messaged me. He's asking me if I can babysit Orwell. Almond replies pretty quickly. You figured she would. She tends to make time for gloating when she's right. You put your phone down for a while. Ugh. Why did you even tell them Orville messaged you? You could have just lied, maybe. Never told anyone. You sigh. You'll sleep on it. You don't want to think about this right now. Well, they got out of that one. Alright, so I decided to go back and see if something else would happen if I restarted the game after getting all of those endings. You wake up to the hum and rumble of the elevator. Actually, this hum and rumble is different, isn't it? That's right. It's the rumble of the road, that ever-familiar drone of wheels on pavement. Vandra is in the passenger seat, looking out the window. This is the road to Orville's apartment. As soon as this realization hits you, you slam the brakes on your car. It just happens like a reflex. Vandra almost careens into the dashboard, cursing in terror. Then, after gathering his bearings for a moment, curses at you for driving like a maniac. You don't know what to do right now. You could turn away, but why? Part of you wants to keep driving, but you simply cannot will yourself to. The thought both paralyzes you and fills you with some kind of viscous, seething resentment. You're unused to such a specific blend of fear and hatred. You look at Vandra, and at seeing your expression, his anger melts away into confusion. You look to the road. Vandra, I think something is really wrong. What do you mean? I can't prove it, but something weird is going on. Are you joking? No. I would like it if you believed me. What are you suggesting we do? I don't know. Vandra scoffs and smiles a little incredulously. Are you trying to... It's not a prank. Vandra is quiet after that. You can't blame him. You're not sure what's going on either. You take a deep breath, close your eyes, and try to think. What now? Go to Orville, drop Vandra off, go to Orville, drop... You know, it's all the same. What the fuck? What now? Go home, cancel the whole thing. Huh? You open your eyes, bewildered. What now? Go to Orville, drop Vandra off. Holy shit, shut up. You look at Vandra, but he doesn't seem... What now? Fuck! What now? Oh God, you hate these stupid fucking choices. What now? You shut your eyes again and try to focus. What now? You hate this. You hate this. What now? Pressure, pressure, pressure. It's not you. This is not you. What does it want? What now? Whatever it wants, you don't want it. You're so fucking tired of this. What do these options point to? What is the common thread? What now? They seem like opposites. Why? You don't want to see Orville. That makes calling everything off appealing. To just go home and, oh, what now? Hey, Vandra. Vandra seems a little nervous, not sure what to expect from you. Yeah? Wanna get some ice cream? Huh? Wanna see a movie? Go to the zoo. This sure seems like one ending, but seems like it's not actually the fake version, probably. Vandra blinks a few times and his surprised laughs trail upwards. Yeah, sure. I have some time this weekend. We have some time right now. You start the car up again, driving back onto the road. Right now, you drive clean past the turn for the parking space of Orville's apartment complex. It's sometime late morning and you're in bed. You should get up, but you're nocturnal. You should sleep, but you're kinda hungry. You should get up, but you're nocturnal. So it goes. Laying in bed for long enough, more complex thoughts start emerging from your swamp of a mind. You should probably apologize to Almond. Not that you need to. Honestly, she should probably apologize first, but you know she's stubborn, and if you go first, then she'll be more receptive to discussion. For being such a mature working woman, she's really such a child sometimes. More minutes slide by, with you grumbling in bed, before you hear your phone blip. You get your glasses to go take a look. Okay, so this is Nandy. Let's see. Hi, Nandy. I think Algernon is kidnapping me. Not sure what to do about that. Before you can reply, another text message arrives. I know this sounds like a joke, but it's not. You stare a moment before writing your own reply. What is going on? Are you safe? Does he know you're texting me? He knows. He kind of encouraged it. I'm safe-ish for now, maybe? As for what's going on, I have no idea. He picked me up to drop me off at Orville's, but halfway there he stopped and said something was really wrong. Asked me if I wanted to go get ice cream and other stuff, and now he's driving, like, away. Far away. We're farther than Almond's house at this point, I think. What do you mean he encouraged it? I was too scared to say anything for a while, and then he said I could text you and talk to you if I wanted. He made sure to say that I could say whatever I wanted. Okay, have you asked him what he's doing? There's a pause. I asked him and he said he decided to have a nice day with you, aka me, to see what happens. Okay. Sounds like he's gone maybe just a touch insane. You think so? Is he cool if I call him? Another pause. This one's a little longer. It is so difficult to be the sanest one in a group of fucked up queers, you swear. You get up and go make yourself a smoothie while you wait. Whatever crazy thing Algernon is doing right now, you're going to make sure he makes it up to you tenfold. You try not to concern yourself with scary thoughts like Algernon deciding to drive off a cliff. Where would he find a cliff anyway? Your phone blips and you almost drop your cup from how fast you reached for it. He said you can call him. All right. Oh boy. You call Algernon. Algernon? Hey, Nandy. Be a pal and calm down, would you? Algernon laughs. That was your best shot. What am I supposed to say when one of my friends goes batshit and kidnaps my other friend? I don't know. Kind of expected you to ask where I was first. You know I'm shit with locations. It's good to hear you, Nandy. Don't talk like that. You sound very final. It's complicated. Don't kill yourself. I swear to fucking God. I don't plan to. Alright, then why are you driving away from everything you've ever known and apparently talking crazy? It's only crazy because I can't explain it well. Oh my God. You know, I forgot I accidentally I accidentally toggled on my VTuber smile. I apologize. Well, I'm listening. You know how I hate being told what to do? Algernon, if you tell me you kidnapped Vandra just to spite Almond, so help me. What? Almond? Nah. It's more likely that I'm spiting Orville, if anything. What? Algernon, what? You can hear him sigh on the other end. Something's really wrong, and I think it has to do with Orville. So I'm getting the fuck away. I'd honestly recommend you do the same. And what's Vandra got to do with that? Why kidnap him? Why do you keep saying I kidnapped Vandra? He said you pretty much kidnapped him. I mean, I've been stopping at regular traffic stops and asked if he wanted a burger and fries. He didn't really say he wanted to leave. Vandra, you didn't say you wanted to leave? You hear Vandra stuttering on the other end. I mean, like, I don't know, I didn't think he'd let me out. Algernon, would you let Vandra out of your car? I don't really want to. You hear C from Vandra in the background. I mean, I will, but it's not a good idea, Nandy. Algernon, if this is something you're being genuine about, you can only make this choice for yourself. Forcing Vandra along will just scare him, and probably lead to both of you getting hurt. Nandy, you're making sense. You are, but this world doesn't make sense. I'm not going to stop you, Alge, but you know Vandra is as helpless as he is nervous. Alge? You hear some shuffling on the other end. You hear doors open, confused sounds from Vandra, then doors closing all in quick succession. Algernon, what are you doing? I dropped him off at some Mickles on 216. Ask Almond where that is, I guess. Nandy? Yeah? It's normalcy. The thing it wants. Thanks. No prob. See ya, Nandy. Take care, Alt. He ends the call. You exhale and realize how shaky your midsection feels. Like localized tension and trembling. You kind of want to scream. But you can't think about all that right now. You have to get Almond to pick up Vandra. So this keeps changing. You think about Algernon frequently. You do not like to, but you have to. You've thought about trying again, but Orwell doesn't seem to want to cooperate. But who knows? Maybe this time he will. What now? Try again? Hahaha. You should probably try again. It's unlikely Algernon will come back on his own. And expending this much effort on him is taxing. So it goes and goes. Oh, I see. Wait. You decide to give this all a bit more time. Patience makes perfect after all. Okay. So that fully starts over. And as I thought, it is because of Orville. But also, Algernon and Vandra definitely need some help. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it just skips through all the way. It does what it did. I think that's it. I think that was the final end. Kind of. Either way, that was Twinadew Window Inertia. Before I end this, I would like to thank my channel members real quick. Thank you so much to my channel members for your support. Not only does it help me, but it helps the channel grow and the videos keep coming. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate you sticking around even though I'm very slow on YouTube right now. That was an odd, interesting game. I don't quite know what's going on with Orville and Orwell and how they caused the time loop. I don't think they're human, to be fair. Or at least Orville isn't. Orwell might be something else entirely. Maybe he's an angel? I don't know. Anyways, I do think that Algernon and Vandra need extensive therapy. But yeah, I liked it. I liked the final thing with Algernon and Vandra. I do hope they get away. I kind of hope Algernon and Vandra meet up again, because I assume Algernon just left. But yeah, that was an experience. I'm sorry if my voice has gotten kind of vibraty after all this. Talking a lot kinda does that to me. But I liked this, and I hope you liked it. And if you do, and if you did, hit that like button. And if you want to see more of me, please subscribe. And I hope to see you all next time. I don't know when I'm going to upload my next video, but hopefully soon. So yeah, bye.